So I legit wasn't planning on making a follow-up to this video. In my head, that video was an ending. I was finally telling the story I'd been carrying for over a year, and I thought, once I got it all out there, that would be it, and maybe I could finally move on. But something happened that I didn't expect. Actually, a couple of things happened that I didn't expect. The first was the response. The response absolutely just blew me away. It was kind of surreal to watch a personal video about myself outperform other videos about Wolverine and the Punisher. But it wasn't just the views, it was the comments, the DMs, the experiences and stories that people shared. Their own workplaces, their own schools, their own moments of feeling invisible, disregarded, betrayed. And suddenly I didn't quite feel so alone. And I think that's what surprised me most, how many people understood exactly what I was talking about. That feeling of realizing the people you trusted weren't who you thought they were, of discovering how quickly people can disappear when standing beside you becomes inconvenient. A lot of people understood that, and that meant a lot. One of the most meaningful things that happened was I actually received a message from one of the teachers that I worked with. Not publicly, it was in a private DM. They had watched the video, took the time to understand my perspective, and reached out. And that meant a lot. More than I can adequately explain, because for a year I'd been carrying around this feeling that nobody cared, that nobody would acknowledge what happened. And then somebody did. Now, they didn't magically somehow fix what had happened, but they made the effort. That's what mattered, that they listened, reflected, and then reached out. That may sound like a small thing, but after everything that happened, it was really huge to me. It validated that what I went through happened and was real, that the pain was real, that the experience mattered. The video also showed me something else, that I have an LGBTQ plus audience, a real one. People who connect with these conversations, people who care about representation and visibility and identity, and that makes me incredibly happy. Don't get me wrong, superheroes are still my bread and butter. I can talk about these guys for hours, that's never going away. But I've realized something. The reason I care about superheroes so much is because of what they can teach us about many things, but particularly identity, acceptance, belonging, standing up for what's right, finding your place, learning to live with parts of yourself that make you feel different. Those themes have always been there. But here's where things get complicated. I thought I was done. I thought I'd finally let go of that anger, of the disappointment. I thought I'd put it on the table, talked about it, processed it, and moved on. Instead, I learned something kind of uncomfortable. You can tell the story, you can cry about it, you can process it, you can talk about it for days, and still it hurts. After I made the video, I ran into people, coworkers or former coworkers, teachers, people who knew me, what had happened. One of the moments that really stuck with me was I was picking up some medication from Walmart, just standing in line like a normal day, and one of the head librarians, so basically one of my bosses, or old bosses, walked into the store. Someone who not only knew exactly what had happened, but had likely participated in what had happened. We made eye contact. There was no question about it. I mean, we saw each other. And every time I see one of them in public, for a second I fool myself into thinking, maybe now they'll do it. Maybe now they'll step up. Maybe I'll get a hello, some form of acknowledgement. Instead, she immediately changed direction and disappeared into another part of the store. And what struck me in that moment was how strange all of this felt. How strange it felt that somebody could work with me, chat with me, laugh with me, witness me fight to keep representation for students, and then act as though I was never even there. Then there was another moment when I was at the gym. I saw a teacher I used to work with. Nothing dramatic happened. No argument, no confrontation. But that's kind of the point. No sign that we had spent months working in the same building down the hall from each other. No sign that we ever knew each other at all. I guess I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, we live in the same community. We're going to continue running into each other. And yet there seems to be no sense of obligation to acknowledge a person that you've wronged. And that's the part I still struggle to understand. We're not talking about becoming best friends or taking sides or agreeing with me about everything. We're talking about just basic human decency, acknowledgement, a hello. Instead, it feels like I just became a ghost. I guess what bothers me is just this refusal to accept responsibility, reality. When somebody goes through something painful and your response is to act like they don't exist, what are you actually saying? What message are you sending? Whether people realize it or not, it communicates something. It communicates, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to engage with this. I don't want to be uncomfortable. And maybe that's what just disappoints me most, because these are educators. These are people entrusted with helping younger people manage their emotions, handle responsibility, confront uncomfortable situations with some sort of maturity. These are people our communities hold up as role models. And yet some of the greatest lessons I've learned about courage, responsibility, sympathy, empathy, compassion, I've learned from students. Students who were willing to be vulnerable, honest, to practice kindness and empathy. How did some of the children demonstrate more emotional courage than the adults? I don't know. Maybe I never will. What I do know is that this experience keeps teaching me things. Even now, even after that video, even after a year, after all this time. And maybe the biggest lesson is that healing isn't a finish line. It's not one moment. It's not one conversation. It's not one video. But that's okay. Because unlike a year ago, I'm no longer carrying this by myself. And that's because of all of you. So thank you for watching, for listening, for sharing your stories, and for trusting me with them. And ultimately, thank you for helping me feel less alone. It's funny, I made the first video because I was surprised by how much nobody cared. Now I'm making this video because I know people do care. That's one of the best surprises I've had in a very long time.